My name's Stuart, I'm 31 years old. I live in a place called Ormskirk, not too far from Liverpool, with my wife Jade. We need to figure out what we're doing on Saturday with Ben and Liz. So I'm a chartered civil engineer, and in my career I've been pretty privileged that I've worked on some pretty good projects on stadiums and bridges and tall buildings and stuff like that, and I feel like civil engineering is something that adds to the world, and yeah, I just find it absolutely fascinating, really.
So Stuart in his spare time loves his football. Football would always become before quite a lot of things. Loved his cycling, loved his running, used to get me out running with him quite a bit. Loved his gardening and was just very active and always busy. Oh good, how long's left on the timer?
So it's been a funny old last sort of 2.5 years, which ultimately started in November 2017 when I was actually supposed to be at a wedding with my wife. But I managed to duck out of that and go and play football in Cambridge instead. A couple of minutes into the match, I tore my knee ligaments, ended up off the pitch, and everything sort of progressed from there. I had knee surgery to have my knee repaired, and whilst I was on crutches during that period, I started to get quite severe sciatic nerve pain down one leg, then down the other leg, sometimes down both legs. Then I've got a hospital appointment having tomorrow afternoon. I had an MRI scan, I think it was mid-January 2018. Results came back inconclusive, and they sent me for another scan, which was a contrast scan, and on the back of those results they found a mass in the base of my spine.
Burn?
Yeah. Stick it in there.
Yeah.
We're done, aren't we? We're done. Ultimately, I'd got diagnosed with cancer. I believe it was February when I went in for my open biopsy, and they assumed it to be cancerous. It took about 6-8 weeks to get the results back, and they came back with 2 different types of diagnosis. One was a form of chondrosarcoma, one was a form of carcinoma. And at the time, the type of cancer that they thought it was, the only recommended sort of way to move forward was to have surgery with the possibility of some radiotherapy later on. Chemotherapy wasn't an option. How strong do you have yours?
So after Stu's treatment, when he first came home, difficulties that we had were first of all him actually getting through the front door. He couldn't get through the porch with his wheelchair. Another issue was that he wasn't strong enough to go up the stairs at first, so we had to set a bedroom up downstairs, and then once he could go upstairs, making it safe for him to do so. Hi Kevin.
The problem with the bathroom was it was inaccessible for starters. Well, I couldn't get in the shower, so we had to use the bath. Using the bath, we had to use an electric bath lift, whereby you don't really get into the water anyway. And it's not nice being I was 30 at the time, a 29, 30-year-old lad who's having to rely solely on people to dress you, wash you, cook for you, clean for you, make you a drink. It was so difficult not being able to live as normal a life as possible. They're all things really that just were leading towards me being quite down. And I just felt as though if we could get these problems rectified to give me more independence, it would make life easier for family around me, but also it just put me in a much better place mentally as well. Good to go? Yeah. So with regard finding support and trying to figure out how maybe we could improve the situation for us both, it all really came through from my boss. So my boss is a fellow of the Institution of Civil Engineers, and he had suggested to me for a while about getting in contact with the Benevolent Fund.
Hello, you okay? Nice to see you. So Keith came to see us. He's a volunteer visitor for the Benevolent Fund, and he sat down, had a coffee with me and Stuart, and started talking about, you know, modifications that could potentially make things easier in the house, and he made a lot of suggestions that might make things easier that we hadn't thought of ourselves.
What is one of the first things that you think you might help?
The first thing the ICE Benevolent Fund did for myself and Jade was immediately they arranged a financial advisor to come and see us to look at our finances and check that we were okay and we were spending money in the right areas. But they also got the stairs modified so that we had those grab rails to grab hold of. Good posture, that's what we need.
Yeah.
Having the bathroom modified into a wet room was a massive thing for me. All of a sudden we had a walk-in double shower that I could essentially wheel all the way up to, with grab rails on, that I could stand up in. Sort of, alright, Jade still helped me, she'd pull the wheelchair out the way and we'd put a shower chair behind me, but it meant that I could sit in the shower on my own, I could wash myself, I could get myself dry, and I just felt like I had some independence back. I sit back down. Then you're off, aren't you? Get myself sorted and get showered. Another element of sort of house modifications that the Benevolent Fund has helped with is the porch. What they've done is they've allowed us to raise the floor level in the porch to match the level of the floor in the hall. And then they've dropped the threshold of the door frame by putting a new door frame in so it's completely smooth through. So now we have a ramp on the outside and then it's completely flat to go from the porch into the hall, so I can either walk through with crutches if I'm feeling on one of my stronger days, or I can roll straight through in the wheelchair.
The Benevolent Fund helped us with the money towards the mobility car as well, and that was a big thing for both of us. It just meant, you know, we didn't have to rely on, you know, me taking him everywhere. It meant that he could have his own independence, go out and do his thing, as well as me being able to go and do my thing as well.
You've got the car keys, haven't you? One of the other things the Benevolent Fund helped us with was towards going on holiday once I'd finished treatment, which, funnily enough, actually ended up being our honeymoon because we found out a couple of weeks before we were due to go that I was going to have further treatment, unfortunately, so we booked our wedding within the space of 2 weeks and cracked on with it. But having that little bit of financial support towards a holiday was massive, because it probably gave me the kick up the backside I needed to sort of work a little bit harder to get as strong as possible, because going abroad I'm going to want to be as healthy as possible and I'm going to want to make the most of it. Do you want to get the other ones out?
Is you on the other one?
Well, at least then they match. It looks a bit nice.
Okay.
On top of all of that, the main thing I would say that they've done is they now provide us financial support on a monthly basis, because I'm no longer working, but this has ultimately allowed Jade to take a sabbatical from work, which has meant that I have become less reliant on family members to look after me, which I suppose you can argue has put more pressure on Jade, but it has made me so much better and so much stronger, and I have been out of hospital more, and I've been able to get out and out more, and since that's happened, really. I'll go here. Yeah, probably better going straight along and across. I think I expressed before, you know, sort of, we booked our wedding within the space of 2 weeks last summer and stuff. It was a bit mad, but the reason we did that is because we got some unfortunate news that my cancer spread quite aggressively, and I was now deemed to be terminal and was given a set period of time, maybe 12 months, maybe a little bit longer, maybe not. And one of the main things the Benevolent Fund has done for us is, all right, we've got that all going on in the background, but they've allowed us to live as normal a life as possible, spend time together and keep moving forward.
So the most important thing now for me and Stuart is kind of making the most of time that we've got with each other at the moment and doing special things. And the Benevolent Fund making those simple changes, I don't think they'll ever realise how big of a difference it's made in terms of spending that precious time together, really, that we hope to do over the next few months that's important to us.
If I was to get everybody from the Benevolent Fund together and sit them down to talk about the support they've given us and try and express our gratitude, I don't think I'll be able to do it, because I don't think I could express in words how much they've made a difference to our lives. The likes of Keith and stuff, their knowledge is so much superior. I felt that they were able to provide ideas of things that would improve our lives that were 10 times better than what others had maybe offered.